How to say thank you in Chinese. The right way to say thank you in Chinese depends mostly on the dialect of Chinese being spoken. There are many dialects used by speakers from various regions of mainland China and around the world. Here are some ways to say thank you in a few of the most common Chinese dialects. Method 1 Mandarin. 1. Say syeh-syeh. This is the most common way to say thanks in Chinese, especially in Mandarin Chinese. Mandarin Chinese is spoken across most of northern and southwestern China. It has more native speakers than other forms of Chinese. Syeh does not translate directly into English, but when spoken as syeh-syeh, it means thanks and syeh-syeh means thank you. A rough pronunciation of syeh-syeh is syeh-syeh. The first syeh starts high and drops by the end. The second syeh is a neutral tone, meaning it is said lightly and without any emphasis. In simplified Chinese characters, syeh-syeh is. In traditional Chinese characters, it would be. Other thank you sayings involving syeh-syeh include syeh-syeh de bāng, a formal way of saying thanks for your help, and syeh-syeh bāng, a casual way of saying thanks for your help. 2. Use nǎlǐ when given a compliment. This phrase translates roughly into where. The Chinese culture values humility, and saying thank you in response to a compliment can come off as being a little arrogant. By saying where, you are essentially deflecting the compliment. Within the U.S. culture, it would be similar to saying shucks. A rough pronunciation of this response would be nǎlǐ. In simplified Chinese characters, this response is written as. In traditional Chinese characters, it would be. 3. Try boo for compliments, as well. As with nǎlǐ, responding with boo is a way to politely deflect compliments. This response is similar to saying no in English. The number of times you say boo can vary depending on how strong your denial needs to be. The greater the compliment, the stronger the denial. A rough pronunciation of boo would be boo. Write boo in Chinese as. Method 2 Cantonese. 1. Say daw-dyeh for a gift. This is the standard way of saying thank you in Cantonese. Cantonese is spoken mainly within southern China. Outside of mainland China, it is spoken by most people living in Hong Kong and Macau. It is also spoken within many overseas Chinese communities in Southeast Asia, Canada, Brazil, Peru, Cuba, Panama, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and the United States. Even though this is the most common way of saying thanks in Cantonese, it is almost always used in response to thanking for someone for a tangible gift. Thanking someone for a favor requires a different term. In native Chinese characters, spell the response out as. A rough pronunciation of do-syeh is daw-dyeh. If you are thanking someone for a gift in advance, say do-syeh sin instead of do-syeh. 2. Use em-gui for service. If someone performed a service or favor for you, this would be the correct way of thanking him or her in Cantonese. This response would not usually be used when thanking someone for a physical gift. It is generally used for services. For instance, you would say em-gui to a server at a restaurant after he or she refills your glass, but not as a response to a birthday present. Using Chinese characters, em-gui is written as. A rough pronunciation of em-gui is mm-gai. The is said in a fairly neutral tone, while the gui or gai rises toward the end. Switch to em-gui nei sin when you are thanking someone for a service before that service is actually performed. Method 3 Additional dialects. 1. Say yuda in the Hoi San dialect. Hoi San Chinese is spoken in Taishan, a coastal city in the southern Guangdong province of China in the Greater Taishan region. 2. Use gum-xia in the Hokkien, Hakka, and Teochew dialects. This version of thank you is appropriate in all three dialects. Hokkien Chinese is spoken by many overseas Chinese in Southeast Asia, especially around Taiwan, and within a southern Fujian province in China. Hakka is spoken by certain Han Chinese living in provincial areas like Hunan, Fujian, Sichuan, Guangxi, Jiangxi, and Guangdong in China. It is also spoken by Chinese worldwide in Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and the United States. Teochew is spoken primarily in the region of Chaozhou, a city in the eastern Guangdong province of China. In native characters, gum-syeh should be written as. A rough pronunciation of the phrase would be gam-syeh. 3. Use do-syeh in the Hakka dialect and in Taiwanese Chinese. This is an alternate way of saying thank you in both dialects. In native characters, write do-syeh as. A rough pronunciation would be do-syeh.